Our next honoree, our next inductee, if you will, Bruce McPherson. I actually had the privilege of covering Bruce when he was a member of the state legislature, and then when he was appointed as California Secretary of State. I was well aware, as was he, that we both were Cal Poly alum, and so we used to talk about that occasionally. As a reporter, you're not supposed to have a favorite, but I gotta say, I really enjoyed covering and talking to Bruce at the state capitol because he was so refreshingly straightforward and without guile. So take a look at Bruce McPherson.
Bruce McPherson is a journalist, working as a reporter and editor during his 26 years with the Santa Cruz Sentinel. And Bruce McPherson is a politician. He was California's Secretary of State, elected to the California State Assembly and Senate, and now serves as a supervisor where he lives in Santa Cruz County. But today we salute Bruce McPherson, the Cal Poly Cub reporter, sports editor, and occasional newsmaker on the college football team. McPherson tackled stories big and small on campus, beginning a life of service to the people that continues more than 50 years after his first El Mustang byline.
So, to present the award to Bruce McPherson is College of Liberal Arts Dean Doug Epperson. Dean?
Well, it is a privilege to introduce Bruce McPherson as the next inductee into the Mustang Media Hall of Fame. I have to confess at the outset that I really don't know Bruce well. And as a consequence, I don't have any of those funny inside stories that always make these introductions more memorable. But perhaps his lovely wife, Mary, during social activities, can share some of those stories with you. What I can tell you is that I was drawn to Bruce immediately when I met him at Open House a year ago, and then again visiting him in his community of Santa Cruz later in the same year. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised that I was drawn to Bruce immediately because, after all, a lot of people like him. As you just saw, he was elected to 2 terms in the Assembly, 2 terms in the Senate, and served as Secretary of State. Tried to retire from politics, but lo and behold, he's now on the County Board of Supervisors in Santa Cruz. And Bruce, I do want you to know that you have at least one constituent in the audience who wants to know what you're going to do about the pot issue in Santa Cruz. So what is it that makes people so drawn to Bruce? For Mary, I'm sure part of the attraction is his rugged good looks and his confident carriage. But for the rest of us, and I suspect even for Mary as well, the real attraction is his genuine concern for community and the people that live in his community, a characteristic that I respect and admire. Bruce came by these values honestly through a family that has lived in Santa Cruz since the 1840s. Not only did his family help develop the community, they wrote about the community, bringing them the news and championing important causes from nearly continuously from 1864 until 1982. And Bruce stayed with the paper another 10 years after that. So nearly 120 years of continuous service to the community through the Santa Cruz Sentinel. Coming from pioneer stock and having ink in his veins, how could Bruce not have a deep appreciation for the interdependence of us all and the power of collaboration, leading to his strong valuing of people and community? These values, along with tremendous integrity, informed his work as a reporter, editor, public servant, and family man for 5 decades since his graduation in 1965, with a degree in journalism. And you know what, students? These are still values that we're trying to instill today, so listen carefully. Bruce was awarded an honorary doctorate by Cal Poly in 2005 in recognition for his many contributions to the state. And today we are proud to include him in the inaugural class of inductees into the Mustang Media Hall of Fame. Bruce, we want you to know that you are a prized and permanent member of the Cal Poly community as well as the Santa Cruz community. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. On this 100th anniversary of Cal Poly delivering the news, I'd like to congratulate the other classmates into the first ever Mustang Media Hall of Fame. I am truly honored and humbled to be joined by former Cal Poly President Robert Kennedy, three-time Pulitzer Prize winner George Ramus, and Weird Al Yankovic, the best-selling comedy recording artist in history. I graduated from Cal Poly with a Bachelor of Science degree in journalism in 1965, 51 years ago. It is what it is. And 40 years later, was honored an honorary degree in humane letters after delivering my second commencement address on campus. My, how things have changed. When 12 to 15 lines were being set per minute on a linotype, to today, when pages, you're still faithful out there, Bert Fellows, he must have known him. But today, when pages are put together in the same time frame, 24-hour news cycles and the social media today may have changed the way we receive our news, but it shouldn't change the way good journalists deliver the news to their readers and viewers. Some basic tenets of good journalism: honesty, get it accurately, listen to both sides, were embedded in me while a student here during some of the most formative years in my life. Nobody did a better job of that for me than Professor John Healy. Always implementing the learn by doing model, Cal Poly had an outstanding journalism staff then, as it still does. But John Healy had a profound impact on my life. I remember those basics in my 26 years at the Santa Cruz Sentinel, both as a reporter or as an editor who wrote editorials for 10 years. Those skills were also extremely important and beneficial to me when I retired from retirement. Two years later, I became a state politician with the idea that this should be a profession of collaboration and not confrontation. It had a sort of an oxymoron ring to it. I mean, I used to write about guys like me, and now I was one of them. But through it all, whether a journalist writing a story or an editorial for 10 years, a legislator writing a piece of legislation, or the California Secretary of State implementing policy, those tenets helped me immensely in my life. I am proud graduate of Cal Poly, always have been and always will be. And the journalism department and the ethics it taught me were extremely important. But there's one other thing on a postscript that's equally important, actually more important to me. I met my wife of 49 years, Mary McPherson, 1966 Cal Poly graduate. So good things happen on the Cal Poly campus. Ladies and gentlemen, I am humbled and honored to be here. There are so many distinguished people who have taught the journalism ethic at Cal Poly and who are going to be graduates and carry that on. God bless you and keep the good faith going. Mustangs forever. Thank you.